The Arizona Cardinals lost 34-13 to the Dallas Cowboys on Saturday night. And the main issue that this Cardinals team had on Saturday and is going to have the entire season starts and maybe ends with defensive coordinator Nick Rallis. Now let's get into the stats. The Cardinals allowed the Cowboys to score 34 points. Joe Milton looked like a Hall of Fame quarterback. He was 9 of 13 for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. And while he looked good, a lot of it was just receivers getting open. We saw Camden Brown have 2 receptions for 77 yards. One of those was a 70-yard almost touchdown. We saw Jonathan Mingo have a 53-yard catch. We saw Zach Kuntz have a 25-yard reception. We saw tight end Luke Schoonmaker have a 19-yard reception. So it was a lot of explosive plays, and you only get that many explosive plays when you have guys running wide open all over the field. Now, you also had Jaden Blue have 15 carries and have a rush for 15 yards. Malik Davis had a 13-yard rush. You had Phil Maffa have a 15-yard rush. So the the Arizona Cardinals gave up a lot of explosive plays to the Cowboys' second string guys. Now, were we playing Budda Baker and Will Johnson and all of those guys? No. But we did have quite a few of R2s playing, which is not something that we should be excited about. Like we had Keitrell Clark playing, we had Sean Murphy Bunting playing, we had Dadrian Taylor Demerson playing, who got hurt. We had Cody Simon playing. We had Denzel Burke playing. Darius Robinson got some snaps. BJ Ojulari played a little bit as well. We saw Eku Leota, who's likely to make the roster. We saw him playing. Keaton Crawford as well. Like, the Cardinals played a lot of their twos, and even a couple of these guys might be ones. Like Denzel Burke might be our starting corner. Andrew Billings might be our starting nose tackle. Darius Robinson might be a starting defensive tackle as well. So there's a lot to be concerned about for this Arizona Cardinals, which also gave up 33 points to the Panthers. Now, obviously, this is preseason, so we're not seeing the fully formed version of this defense. And they only gave up 14 points to the Raiders, but the Ravens did score, I believe, on their first 2 touchdown drives. And speaking of this Cowboys game, if the Cowboys convert on 4th and 1, this game is even uglier. This game might be a 41-13 bloodbath. If Rallis had a history of good defenses with the Arizona Cardinals, we probably wouldn't be freaking out about it. We'd be saying, oh, it's just preseason, right? But here's what Rallis has done with the Cardinals defense the last 3 seasons. 28.7 points per game, which ranked 29th in the NFL. In 2024, when the Cardinals went 8-9, the defense was 15th and they gave up 22.3 points per game. Not great, but not horrible. But then in the 2023 season, defense was ranked 31st and gave up 26.8 points per game. They had a record of 4-13. So defense has been quite the struggle for Rallis. A lot of people, myself included, were surprised that Rallis was retained. Now, the argument, I guess, at the time, if you were thinking positively about it, was, hey, there will be some continuity, which will help the defense. Maybe all the guys, when they get back and healthy, they'll be able to finally play Nick Rallis' system and buy in. But from what we've seen in preseason so far, it doesn't look like this Cardinals defense is going to be very good. Who knows if this Cardinals defense is that talented. I don't think it's super talented. You can look at Budda Baker, top 100 player, obviously. You can look at Will Johnson and say, hey, hopefully you're a 1 cornerback in the NFL. going forward in your career. You can look at Walter Nolan and say, man, this guy should be a Pro Bowl player, could be an all pro one day. But you look at a lot and Josh Sweat. Let's not forget about Josh Sweat, who is on the PUP list. Hopefully he returns. Maybe he gets traded. I'm not sure. But you look at a lot of other players on this team, and there's not a bevy of talent on the defensive side of the football. And to go along with that, even if there was, I don't know if they'd get maximized by Nick Rallis. If there is a coach on the staff that's going to get fired at some point mid-season, it's going to be Nick Rallis, because I think that this Cardinals defense is doomed. I think I would say there's probably no way they finish higher than 27th this season in scoring defense. Now, some of those metrics can kind of get skewed if you have high turnover. If the Cardinals are a high turnover team this year, and Brissett or Minshew or Beck are out there throwing interceptions, and the Cardinals are defending a bunch of short fields, like, that makes your scoring defense way worse. It does. And there's other stats that we can look at, and maybe on another episode I'll do a deep dive, but we're 50 minutes into this podcast, so it's not worth boring you with the nitty-gritty details right now, other than to say this Cardinals defense is going to be bad. Buckle up. If the Cardinals are going to win games this year, it's because their offensive skill position players are awesome. It means Marvin Harrison takes a step. It means Michael Wilson is consistent. It means Jay McBride is, again, the best tight end in football. And it means that the running back room of Jeremiah Love, James Conner, and Tyler Algier is really stinking good, and the offensive line is good enough. If the Cardinals are winning games, that's why. It's not going to be because they're holding teams to 14 points and scoring 17. It's going to be because the Cardinals are scoring 30 to 35 points and hanging on for dear life as the other team only scores 28 to 31. It's probably unlikely, and if I had to guess what the Cardinals are going to do this season, let's look at their schedule real quick right now. They play the Chargers. That could be a team that puts up a lot of points on the Cardinals. Seahawks, that could be a team that puts up a lot of points. 49ers, don't know if they'll put up a lot of points, but I do think that they could be pretty efficient against this defense. Giants, not sure. Lions could really rack up some points. Then you play at the Rams. If Nick Rallis gives up a 40 spot to the Lions, gets dominated by the Seahawks and the 49ers, and maybe even the Chargers, we're looking at Nick Rallis as getting fired, perhaps after that Lions game or after playing at the Rams in October. So if I had to guess, I'm circling that Rams game and saying, hey, let's evaluate where the defense is at right now. And if it's bad, I think that means Nick Rallis is gone. And I won't feel bad about saying goodbye. And hopefully Mike LaFleur and whoever the next GM of the Arizona Cardinals is at the end of the season can find a good defensive coordinator, and we can draft some good defensive talent. We can get some talent to sign in free agency and turn this defense around going forward for the future. But it's not going to be anytime soon, or at least anytime this season.